Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I know for those who are Muslims, they must be saying wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. But the ones who are not Muslims, I know, may be also really asking themselves, what is this one saying? But all I'm saying is, may peace be upon you on this very, very important day, which is the Eid Day celebrations for the Muslims out there who have been fasting. That is for 30 days. That is of the Ramadan period. And this is a period where they have not been eating. They have not been doing a lot of things. But now we also going to be seeing them going back to default. That is also really the question that we should be asking ourselves right now, because for 30 the whole days we have been holy. That is really something we did see also really happening with the Christian faith, where they were also really fasting. That is the Lent period for the 40 days. And all these months have come to an end. Are we going to be seeing people going back to also with their bad behaviors, like how it was witnessed maybe before the period, before these holy months? Definitely that shouldn't be the question. But nonetheless, we are here as all praises must be to Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the giver and the sustainer of life, as we celebrate this Eid day here, because it is very, very much important really for us to also really celebrate this day out there. It is a day where we're supposed to be jolly, where we're supposed to be also really having times with our loved ones, and this is why it is very, very much important for those who are not really also both Muslims and Muslims to continue to celebrate this day, because it is a day that is surely for sharing love. And as the prophetic traditions, really we are supposed to be doing a lot of good things on this day. First of all, extending charity for those who have not also already done so. We need to do so. And for those who do not pay zakah, the time is still there before the end of the prayers. That means that you still can also really rush and pay that money in there. But I must say, happy Eid. That is to our viewers who are really always watching us. That is really each and every mornings right here on West Nile Television. We say Eid Mubarak. And that is why it is very, very much important for us to also really be here. And in a few minutes, we are expecting a guest also really to join us very shortly and also tell us more about this day. And that is why it is very, very much important also for you to be part of the show. But really, before we get to that, the question as we must be asking ourselves as Muslims, as non-Muslims out there, should be also really how we are going to be ending the day. Because surely we do not expect you to be also really engaging in bad activities. For instance, maybe going out and drinking and doing a lot of immoral acts today, because surely that is also really something that is going to ruin your 30 days of fasting. You may also really fast for nothing, and really where there will be a call for compensation, that is over the 60 days, it may become very, very much difficult for you. That is why I'm saying we need to ensure that we celebrate this day holy, and we need to also really continue doing good things, even after the month, at the end of the month. And this is to both the Muslims and the Christians. I do understand that the Lent period did climax, that is with the Easter celebrations, and also really the Ramadan period shall be climaxing today, that is with the Eid celebrations. And all this also really should be meaning a lot to you as the viewer. And the question that you should be asking yourself out there is, what next after this day? That is the question. And that means we shouldn't also really overspend on the monies that we are having and the little monies that we are having. We need not to ensure that we overspend it. Other than that, we may also really find ourselves in problems after the end of the day, because it has been 30 days where people have also really been very, very holy, where they have not been doing a lot of things. And that is one reason also really I want to say, let's avoid overspending on this day. Other than that, we may also really lag, also enter into maybe credits, which may not be really good there. And at the end of the day, we also really have other responsibilities, and this is to the family heads during this day. Let's avoid overspending. Let's spend where necessary, and let's avoid really overspending on maybe unnecessary things that wouldn't also really be quite good in there. Because Eid, as a tradition, it is a day for sharing love. I do understand that, but really let's also be mindful. Let's visit our loved ones. Let's exchange gifts amongst ourselves, because surely this is a day for extending love and really for eating, because it is a day of feasting. We do not expect somebody to fast on this day. I'm not here to preach. We are also really expecting one of the sheikhs anytime from now, from Uganda Muslim Spring Council, who will be able to also really do the preaching. But before we get to that, let's first also really look at what is happening elsewhere. Remember yesterday we were in here with Alfred Matoe Tokira, and his message to the people out there was, let's be security conscious on this day. Other than that, we wouldn't also really want to wish each and maybe somebody out there to be arrested, because on this day so many criminal activities are going to be taking place, and so many things are also really going to be happening elsewhere, and that is why there's caution now for people to also really ensure that they also really do not maybe engage themselves in what we're talking about, because really if we see them maybe happening, maybe also you see them maybe today engaging in criminal activities, that wouldn't be very, very good. And this is to my brothers out there and the sisters, let's avoid tendencies of drug abuse on this day, because surely some of us have been fasting for 30 days and then we have not been also really engaging in cases of drug abuse, and this may also really be a day for us also really to do maybe that. But we are saying no, today is a holiday, today is a day for jubilating, today is a day for celebrating and exchanging love amongst ourselves, and that is why it is very, very much important as a reminder for you also maybe to do the recitation of the Quran on this day, and that would also really be quite good. And really in Germany, really they also did caution the people also really to celebrate Eid very, very well in there, such that also really nobody is left behind. Maybe also really in terms of also really people maybe engaging in activities that could land them in problems, and that is why it is very, very much important. And on this day also really let's mind of the economy and the pocket, and today the government of Uganda is also really putting a lot of emphasis, that is to ensure that the people also really get something for themselves, and that is why people need to ensure, much as this day is going to be there, let's ensure that also we do our works, though we are not supposed to also really do a lot of works, and today we're expecting most of the shops, mostly those owned by the Muslims, also really to be closed, but really after tomorrow, what next? Let's go back to work. And really the parish development model as one of the initiatives in Mahdi, that is in Uganda, really you realize that the government of Uganda is really injecting a lot of money through the PDM. Also, I want to remind you on this very important day about the PDM, as the parish development model beneficiaries in Moyo have been urged, that is to prioritize enrollment of new members into the already existing enterprising groups, instead of thinking of creating new enterprises. And this is something also that we are saying needs to happen, because you need to incorporate people, and this PDM money is really what we call a revolving fund, the one that really you borrow and return back, such that it's also really extended to those who have not yet acquired the monies. And really for those who maybe acquired the 1 million, we are expecting you by this time to also really ensure that you are refunding back the money. If at all you haven't started refunding the money, there's a brother of yours, there's a sister of yours who could be out there also really needing this money here. And this comment was made by Dratele Christopher, the district production officer, who also doubles as the parish development model focal person in the district during the annual general meeting of the parish development model groups in Metu sub-county over the weekend. And this is something also we did see happening in right there, and the meeting brought together all the different parish development model groups in the 6 parishes within that is Metu sub-county to discuss their progress and share ideas on how to improve on their limitations as required by the policies. And yes, we are saying really we need to ensure that people are now refunding that money by this time, because if at all are not refunding the money, you will realize that a lot of issues are happening now. Those who are still vulnerable continue to remain vulnerable, and those who may have also acquired the money will still continue to remain vulnerable. And that is why actually it is very, very much important for financial literacy to always be given first to the beneficiaries, and really such that they also really get to maybe understand why the money is given out, such that also really they do not misuse the monies. And today you realize that in Maracha and other districts, for instance in Terego, where I was, people are having negative perception about this money. Others are saying it is government money for campaigns, and they got it and used the money really for not the proper ventures they did ask this money for, which is really quite unfortunate, because you realize that somebody wrote a project that is also really for maybe doing out commercial culture, for maybe doing animal production, but at the end of the day, when they receive the money, you see people also really buying hoofers, you see people moving with the money, mattresses, you see people have married, and we have today mama PDMs, and these are children born out of money using money gotten from PDM, and really this is quite unfortunate. And really I would not want to see this happening, because as we are celebrating this important day, what about the vulnerable people who are still in the community there, those who require the zakah? How can we empower them? And that is why the government programs, for instance the PDM, is very, very much important, as such that these vulnerable people who are actually the beneficiaries of this money could also really uplift their monies, also really maybe their livelihoods through this PDM money and the emyoga which are still there in place. And really that is why I want to call upon now the members of the public, as we celebrate this day, also really to mind of the pockets. And really that is why it is very, very much important. Maybe at the end of the day, we would also really wish to see people not, maybe zakah beneficiaries reducing, because that is a reality. We shall never maybe say, we will never have a society that will not require zakah. At one time we will still have them, people who will maybe need the zakah money. But really the question we should be asking ourselves now is that how can we reduce on the numbers? Definitely the government projects that are already in place need to also be taken seriously, and that is why the religious leaders on this day also need to preach the gospel that is of money also creation, and that such that also really we also maybe get monies and really reduce on the miskins within the society. And really how do we maybe reduce them? Definitely it is through also really the government projects that are in place, and we need to support the government projects as such that also really we get the money ourselves. And Dr. Datele Christopher, the district production officer, who also doubles as the parish development model focal person in Moyo district, advised the parish development groups to consider prioritizing the enrollment of more members in the already existing enterprising groups instead of also thinking about creating new more. And this is something also we want to say needs to happen, because if that is not the case, then definitely we may also really see people lagging behind. And Mr. Angwe Jonathan, the sub-county chief from Metu sub-county, called upon the said meeting is organized in line with the policy guidelines, also really, and pledged to follow up on the groups to ascertain how they are progressing, really in terms of also really eradicating poverty. And that is why it is very, very much important. And I want to say the religious leaders also need to take up the same, such that we also really reduce on those tendencies of maybe people borrowing the money and not utilizing very, very, very well. And Mr. LAP Francis, one of the parish development chiefs in Metu sub-county, said the parish development model has good vision. That is, during the time it was being conceived, but things just turned around, which got them disappointed, and he never also appealed. He however appealed that his government to provide all the necessary tools required for running the PDM. And today, yes, this could be the reality, not only in Metu or Moyo, but it is happening elsewhere. And really, how do we also support this? That is why it is very, very much important for people now to also really ensure that they take advantage of this government project, as such that also really we avoid these tendencies of people not really utilizing what they're supposed to be doing. And that is why at the end of the day we want to see people also really utilizing their lives, and at the end of the day we want to see people also really their lives also being uplifted, other than also really we continuing to see them also really lag behind. And my message to the religious leaders or the clergy at large today will be that let's preach the gospel of money creation and the money also really money bit of it all, because today at the end of the day if people are poor, you rather there will be a society of very, very much a bad imbalance, and where there's too much gap really in the money economy, definitely we may also really see a society that will have a lot of challenges. And for instance, what we are seeing, and today also the issue of drug abuse among the youth, also really this is something that maybe they need to talk about. Also really I would wish they talk about it, because today you know that a lot of issues are going through as a result of the issue of drug abuse, as most of the young people are into abuse of drugs, for instance the marijuana, the mairungi, and really other bad substances which give them courage to also really do their own wrong criminal activities. At the end of the day, we are saying we want a society that is free from drugs. How do we make that a reality? Secondly, that is one thing I also think it is through the empowerment of these people really who are abusing these drugs. And first of all, giving them the empowerment on maybe through this day also preaching to them would be able to also maybe help reduce the cases, because today we realize that the issues of drug abuse is really very, very much rampant within more so the city center. And really that is where I want to say during this day also really there's need for us, maybe the religious leaders, also to preach the gospel that is of drug abuse, and that would also be quite good. And really today the issues of drug abuse in most of the rural settings, people are smoking gray hair, and within the urban centers marijuana and opium have become other things where people also think mairungi is food for them, and that is why they need also to have it as a basic need. And that is why people do not want to miss, that is eating mairungi. And that is how it is very, very much unfortunate, because once it becomes a necessity for you, then definitely that is quite unfortunate, because you will be able to do things out of really your will. And that is why there's need for people to also really preach against the issues of drug abuse. For instance, the use of these bad substances that also intoxicate people's minds. I do understand that the books are talking against intoxication, and really this is also really something that needs to be extended to the young people more so on this day of Eid celebrations. And that is how I want to wish also really the religious leaders also really to talk about that. And that is also really one thing that I will be able to also really feel proud about, because today people are into issues of maybe snatching phones, and today we are going to be witnessing the same, because really I must say we are going to be seeing some people losing their phones today. Really this is in hands of these errant boys who are into the motorcycles, and the motorcycles have become motorcycles, and where people in Central Division now do not want to hear the voice of a senke behind them, because really once somebody hears the noise of senke coming from behind, you really see them turning and really wanting to see who exactly is coming. And this is because of the tendencies of the phone grabbing that we are talking about. Then the issues of handbags being snatched from women, that is already something that we are talking about, because today really you realize that so many of these bad activities are coming. And today I also want to call upon the parents as we celebrate this day. Let's tell our children not to go into these bad acts, and really let's also really warn our children against going into these bad places that we do not want to see them going to. Really, for instance, today you realize that the hotels are going to be attracting a number of these young people who are going to be seeing a lot of bad things for themselves. And really, this is also really where I believe immorality could be arising from, because today you realize that our young people, our young children who are living homes, escaping from home, really claiming to go and visit relatives, are going to these hotels. I will not be able to mention their names, but really where they are going to be also really spending the time is also really that they are going to mix with adults with whom they are going to see a lot of bad acts really for their eyes, really at the end of the day, also really which they would want to implement and practice, which would also really not be quite well for them there. And I want to call upon now parents, let's be mindful of where our children will be going on this day, because they, much as we want them to have fun, but where are they going to be having the funds from? Are they going to be having the fun maybe from these big hotels where we are going to be seeing a lot of challenges? Definitely, I do not want to see that happening. And then are they going to be having this from the video halls? Definitely, I say no. Let's ensure that we spend this day home, such that our parents, our children also do not maybe go out of hand escaping, because as a parent, as a father, if you're home, there is no way that your child is going to be escaping, leaving you home and ready to go also really and spend time with these bad people where they're going to witness a lot of bad activities. And that is one reason I also want to say, let's ensure that that does not happen on this day, because it is a very, very much important day, really, where we need to ensure that we celebrate with our loved ones. And that would also really be quite good, really, for us to also really spend this day with our children out there. As we summarize the discussions for today, we are waiting to have the Sheikh on board. That will be in the second hour. That is really some few minutes from now. He will be joining us and also really let us know how best we need to celebrate this day, some of the do's and don'ts of this day, and really that would be also quite important for us to solely share with him. But before we get to that, Omugo Girls has received the bed that is from also really, one of the members of parliament, and after this is after spending long days without these beds. On Omugo Senior Secondary School, which is a community-based school in Terego Sub-County, and Omugo Sub-County in Terego East has also really received 40 metallic beds. That's from Terego District 1 Member of Parliament, that is Honorable Obiga Rose, and the plight facing the students at Omugo Girls Secondary School who have been sleeping on the floor for many years was raised when the Women Parliament, really when Uganda Women Parliamentary Session MPs visited the school for an oversight tour recently. And Marcia Farida, the head girl of the school, also really averted that they are never also really passed in the past kind. They have never received such a generous act, and from maybe also from the past legislators. And with this, they are very, very much excited. And that is why also really I did tell you earlier on this day, let's ensure that we do charity. Zakah may be coming to an end, but Sadak is not stopping. And such donations could also really be part of SADC, which is also really giving out as a form of charity. And really this is one reason also I want to implore the rest of the Muslim community, also really the non-Muslim community also really to do the same. And yesterday we did see one of the members of parliament also really donating a hand. This is none other than Atima Jackson Lee, also really extending support. And we want to see more, and really also of our top people who can. Really this is also really where we're saying, if you can, let's extend hands to the vulnerable, because surely they will also really be needing maybe your help. And this is why it is very, very much important. Driwale Morris, a resident of Mugo Sub-County, advised the students to concentrate on reading books during this time, such that maybe also we wish to see more MPs coming out from the school. That would also really be very, very much good. And at the end of the day, because really they are being, this donation, I believe, also really is to inspire these young children. And really, I believe at the end of the day, we would also really wish to see maybe in the next 10 years to come, maybe in the next 5 years, maybe in the next 15 years, a woman member of parliament also really replacing her, because that is not a permanent seat where we are going to maybe say we are going to be on this seat for life. No, definitely at one time, the best dancer will have to leave the stage. And to whom do you leave the stage is the question that we always ask ourselves. Have you mentored them? And I believe through these donations, that is already part of mentorship and part of inspiration to these young people. And that is one thing I want to see happening. And the Terego District Women Member of Parliament, Honorable Obiga Rose, who bought the beds, is optimistic that the school will benefit more when it is taken up by the government. And she also advised the students to stop believing in things of witchcraft, which she says can also really tarnish the brains and destroy the school. And yes, on this day also I want to extend the day on also the issue of witchcraft, which is really a great challenge that's already happening in our communities. And really today, you know that a lot of issues are being said about this day, really on this act that is really of witchcraft. Today, where we're talking about so many bad things, the women who are smoking Mindy, that is already witchcraft. And for those who are visiting the witch doctors, that is shirk already really on this day. Let's also ensure that for those who have been doing it, let's stop on this day, because this is really something that is happening and affecting our societies. And if you really see what is happening within most of our societies where people are being killed, you will realize that issues of also these things are being raised here and there. And that is how it is very, very much important for people to also really ensure that they also really talk about this. And she also advised the students to stop believing in and really in things that can destroy the school, really where the issues of strikes, which is never a solution, is also really something that the young person need to do. And the Mugo Senior Girls Secondary School is a community-based school that was established in the year 1998 as a girls-founded secondary school in Telego district, and that is how the school is continuing to progress. And that is also really what brings us to the end of the discussions. And up next, we shall be joined by one of the religious leaders, that is from Uganda Muslim Spring Council, also really to share their oversight on how Eid is and what Eid is exactly. I'm not a clergy, I'm not a preacher, but surely we are going to be having that opportunity to be joined by a clergy also to share more on this day. For now, let me first run in for this short commercial breather as we bounce back with the discussions on Eid. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, and as you can now see on my right, I've been joined by the Sheikh, and we are going to be doing discussions that is in relation to Eid celebrations and how it is supposed to be done, how did the Prophet do it, and that is why as a Muslim who is still out there at home and you have never gone, maybe not yet gone for prayers, maybe the prayer center, you also really need to also really understand how this day is celebrated. And really, without wasting any more of the time, allow me bring him on board and tell us more how the Prophet celebrated this day and how we should celebrate our day. Should we emulate the Prophet? That is how we need to celebrate this day. But nonetheless, you're most welcome, my brother, to West Nile Television Kokoliriko live show.
Thank you.
I know this could be your very first time because in most cases people come for, that is the Friday sermons.
Yeah.
But today, being Eid, I want to welcome you officially to the Kokoliriko live show. You can say a good morning to our viewers. That is also really, maybe also really why we need to also understand how this day is. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much, presenter. Without wasting your time, I think thank you viewers for tuning in to our own TV, that is West Nile TV. It's a pleasure being here today. Being Eid, we are happy that we're celebrating Eid today, and there are those who would love to find this special day to enjoy it together with us, but death has robbed us of towards that. And with that, we would say, may Allah have mercy upon their souls. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Ameen. So basically, Eid being celebrated, and the Prophet Muhammad celebrated it in different ways, and of which in this special day there are new sets of clothes, new clothing being bought for children.
They are buyers.
Yes.
We're talking about their buyers.
They are
Did
buyers.
they request from you? Sheikh?
No, they didn't request from me, but maybe
Mashallah.
the woman at home, the halal one, did, of which it happened, and I bought for her, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Of course, we need to really give credit to our wives at home, because they have been through enough, waking up in the night, cooking for you the night meal, at the same time, preparing for you iftar. So with that, you really need to give them a thank you for all this while. So I think basically in one of the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he, on the special day of Eid, there happened to be children and girls playing in the compound. They were dancing, kind of stuff, and Ibn Abbas was trying to stop them, let them not stop. Abu Bakr was like, sure it was Abu Bakr who was trying to stop them, that is, stop playing what? Stop playing music. So the Prophet was like telling Abu Bakr, no, allow them to enjoy themselves. It is a day of enjoyment, as long as does not break any other rule in Islam, and they have not gone any other further. So with that, the Prophet told Abu Bakr to allow the girls and the boys who are enjoying themselves in the home and at home and in the compound, so which he had to allow them enjoy themselves. So with that, it's a day of enjoyment, excitement, though it has been a holy month that we have been going through. First, like the 10 days were fasting. The first 10 days we had the rahmah, the blessings of Allah upon us. The second 10 days were the third 10 days were itikul minanar, and then the second one was maghfirah. So of which we all benefited, we all got these blessings in this holy month of Ramadan. And last night was the night of Eid. That was when we concluded Ramadan month, the Ramadan. So at that period at night, when you continue doing the recitation of Quran, at the same time you do dhikr, of which Allah ends up forgiving over millions of people, removing their souls and their hearts, all their necks from Jahannam, subhanallah. So it is quite a blessed night, and when you waked up this early morning, in the dawn that you waked up, you did enough zikr, like subhanallah wa hamdi, subhanallah al-azim, you did it 1,000 times, and the reward should go to the people that we have lost. Automatically it connects direct to the people that we have lost, and of which on this very day it will be an issue for you as an individual, that you will indulge in issues of which are not Islamically related. It is not advisable. This day is a day of enjoyment, yes, but how do you enjoy it as an individual, as with the family? Basically, the aspect of this enjoyment, it is when all Muslims get together, show the love that we have been from the month of Ramadan, and we're right now in Eid day, that is 1st of Shawwal. So when we're having this feast, so let's have it in a way that we enjoy sweets around. We eat sweets, we eat pilau. Like I know, Yusuf, for you love pilau so much. So with that, people enjoy pilau. They enjoy it together as a family. You go pay visits to relatives, friends. Then if you're a family man like me, obviously you have to take your family out, take them.
But the question I was earlier on talking about is, where do you take the children on this day?
Basically,
because today I do understand Uganda Muslim Spring Council, at least Narua City, catered for that, to do sports. But what about other areas where there are no, maybe such games that are going to be going on? And today I will not be able to mention hotels, but really we know where children sometimes go to.
Yes.
Is that where you're going to take your children?
Where children are supposed to be, it's a day to make children happy and the whole family happy. So you as a parent, you know what is good for your children. So we should take that initiative upon ourselves, that where do our children go and have this feast or enjoy themselves? So it is a question to each and every parent out there, that it is your responsibility where you're taking your children, is it a safer place? If you had fasted all this while, you would not want to stain your fast with other obscene things, because it is a fadla that Shaitan, Iblis, lanatullah alayhi, was whatever, was handcuffed with chains. He was chained up, and at the end of the day, you got to realize today after Salatul Eid, Shaitan will be released. So we should at least fight very hard that Shaitan will be dragging us. We shall have fights with Shaitan. Knowingly that our children, our responsibilities, that we need to take this upon us, that there are places that we should not allow our children to go to, like disco places, places of which can end up, like for instance, at times I usually see people, children loading themselves on rickshaws. They go sides of White Castle, of which there are certain obscene things that your children are not supposed to be indulged themselves as a parent as well on this specific day of the feast. So with that, I call upon all parents, let them take charge of their children. Let them know where their children are going, with whom are they going, and is it the right place that they are going to. And at the end of the day, when they have already had the feast with friends, meeting relatives, obviously going to the other relatives, so my children will go to your place, they will have fun, they will enjoy the feast together. But at the end of the day, in the evening hours, let's ask ourselves, will they come back at the right time? Obviously, when they are going, make sure, go but come home early. And make sure that you take care. And when you're doing that, at least put an elderly one who is older than others amidst them, who will understand the aspect of knowing that we are questioned that we should go, but we come back home early. So it is our responsibilities as parents out there to take charge, that once the feast is here today, alhamdulillah, we have reached it, that we should take responsibility over our children, because it is our responsibility towards them to take care of them. So it is a day that we get together, invite friends, relatives, visit, courtesy calls, we could do it, trying to check on our relatives. And in this very day, we can even get extra more times to go and pay visit to the graveyards.
Talking about courtesy call, those who are watching us right now could also really do that by simply texting their messages at the comment section, maybe of greetings, maybe of saying hi to their relatives, and I will be able to solely reflect that on the screens and maybe also read and share with the rest of viewers. And that is how it is very, very much important on how we should celebrate this day. And you are talking about these all good things, but what about the do's and don'ts? Today we may also see people who want to fast on this day. Maybe is it allowed?
It is not allowed. Obviously, when you fast on this, there are in the there are 2 days, like say in our Islamic calendar, whereby we have the Eidain, that is Eid al-Fitr, of which we had found ourselves today in it, alhamdulillah, mashallah. Then we have Eid al-Adha, of which it is not allowed on this very day for any Muslim to fast on this day. So it will look quite absurd that you find a Muslim with that your iman is the highest, or your man is you have the highest level of iman, that you're supposed to fast this very day. It is not allowed Islamically. So it is a day of getting together. You have been fasting. If you want to fast, you can fast after the 3 days. That is over the 3 days after Eid al-Fitr. So it is not allowed. It is not permissible for any Muslim to fast on these very days. That is one. Today, tomorrow, and then the next day. So after that, we can start Shawwal from. There are other people who can also do it.
What about those who had missed days? Because I'm one of them, unfortunately. In the Ramadan period, I was able to miss one day. This is due to sickness. Maybe somebody out there may be also asking the same question. How should I compensate this? Can I compensate after 3 days?
You can. It's allowed that when you've missed, there's a provision whereby for those who missed days in Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan, so you can repay back this, the debt that for the missed days that you had. So with that, after the 3 days, or after the 3 days, when the 3 days elapse, you can automatically start. But now there is also a unique part of it. You know, Islam is so flexible. When you have brought that near, like for instance, you had, for example, let me assume you missed 3 days, and when Shawwal, of which in the month that whereby we were fasting, sittat, there's that mindset in people's mind that once you've started fasting sittat, you're not supposed to leave it. You're supposed to fast it for your lifetime, for a lifetime. So, and
that is also the negative perception which many are carrying on there.
So
but is that true?
It is not true. So anytime you feel like you're not in position to fast it, and you've been fasting it, you can give a pause. You can give it a pause. But there's nothing that says in the Quran or maybe in the Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that once you've started fasting sittat, that you're not supposed to leave it, or maybe you're not supposed to stop fasting it. You should that you should continue fasting it. That's nothing there. There's nothing in relation to that. So it is high time when we're fasting sittat, you can bring that heart intention, that you wanted to repay the missed days of Ramadan. So as you want to pay these days, you can have one intention was to pay for the missed days of Ramadan. At the same time, you want to pray. You want to fast sittat the 6 days. So with that intention, it means with one stone you can throw two birds. So when you do that, you have the niyyah of bringing the fast that you had missed. At the same time, attach the sittat is 3 of them. What means we're fasting sittat 6 days. So when you've brought a niyyah of fulfilling the missed 3 days plus sittat, which is 3 days, you can. It means when you're fasted for 3 days, automatically you've captured Ramadan, the 3 days of Ramadan and the 3 days of sittat. So you can just add more 3 days for the sittat. It means with that niyyah that you've brought, automatically you get the whole. You get both. You've repaid your debt. At the same time, you've done what? You've got 3 days of sittat. So it is upon everyone that we should all this. Some of us didn't know, like our viewers who are viewing us right now. So it is high time that if you never had the knowledge, that you're blessed that today you've got this knowledge, and it's best that we look for knowledge, like the Prophet said in one of his hadith, that it is compulsory upon every Muslim, man or female, to look for ilm. So talabul ilm faridat ala kulli Muslim or Muslimat. So it's our responsibility to look for knowledge. Not only that, as well in our current positions that we're holding, it's very vital, because this life that we're leading really needs education. Without education, we're not going anywhere. Yes.
That is how we also really maybe inform you, because we are here to inform you and enlighten you, and we are to do that in all aspects. And I know for that Muslim who was also really trying to maybe fast today, you already aware that it should be after the next 3 days, because Eid is supposed to be there for the 3 days. I do understand that. And now I've clearly gotten that, and really I believe you too as the viewer also has gotten that as well. But feel free to drop in your Eid messages on our comment section. For those of you streaming us online, for those who are watching us via YouTube, drop the comments in there. For those of you watching us also via Facebook, the comment section for Facebook is also really wide open. You too can drop your messages for Eid there. It could be regards, it could be a question, it could be a comment. Feel free to drop it in there, as we shall be able to also read it in the next few minutes, because we have to also really leave here and go for prayers anytime from now. That means that we may also not continue with the show up to the time that is of 9 o'clock, because we also really have to go for prayers. But apart from the prayers on this day, what are other dawns also that need to be observed on this day? Because today at night, you will realize that Satan has been freed. So many bad things could be happening tonight. But really, how best can we ensure that we avoid these tendencies of also the wrongdoings on this very, very much important day, which would also be very, very much unfortunate to see that a Muslim brother or that a Muslim sister is seen doing a wrong thing after the 30 days of Ramadan period on Eid day. What message maybe do you have for them towards the dawns on this day?
Towards the dawns on this very specific, special day, that us as Muslims, there are certain things that we have been doing, or maybe we had seen before Ramadan. When Ramadan came in, Ramadan is supposed to change us. Ramadan transformed us. The love that we never had was there. We really experienced it during the fasting period of Ramadan. And everything that we did for the betterment of Ramadan, not only that, we should continue with the habit, because Ramadan changed a lot in us. The bad hearts that we had, the love which was not there was brought back. You would see a neighbor who was not in position to talk to each other, but during Ramadan they will talk, they will share the same meal. So on this very day, we should share same meals. We should continue with the habit. We should not only look at the aspect of putting it on Ramadan alone. We should continue with this. It should change our life forever. So the do's and don'ts, it will be quite bad, or sounds so bad, or maybe it looks so awful that we indulge in sinful acts. Like for instance, on this very day after the Salatul Eid, Shaitan will be really freed away from the chain, wherever he has been tied. So with that, on this very day, when you end up indulging in sinful acts, like for instance, it means you've disobeyed Allah. So when you've disobeyed Allah, it's just exactly like you've disobeyed Allah on that very day of Qiyamah. Subhanallah. Would you want to be being brought in front of Allah and that you've disobeyed Allah on that very day of judgment, when we are now being given our deeds, the right side deeds, the wrong deeds? Obviously, we're giving accounts for all the deeds that we did in this life. So that we have done in this life. So it is quite paramount that we need to take charge. We should not look at that. Those people that we should not be those people that will mess things up for ourselves. We prayed, we fasted, we did the Taraweeh, we did the zikris. So the benefits is there, and it is only Allah who knows, and He knows how to pay us back the reward. So it's high time that we take responsibility over this, that we should not indulge in these sinful acts. Drinking, for those who have been drinking, leave it out, because Ramadan has changed our life. Give it.
Stop it forever.
Stop it forever. Put an end to it, because if you can stay without drinking for like 30 days,
that means that you can also stay for your entire life without drinking. So it's high time we take all this into consideration. And if you used to be a sinner, like for instance, my brothers, sorry to cut you short. You know, talking about alcohol on this day, I believe it's not only alcohol. We should be talking about all the intoxicants. You see the youth that today who are abusing these drugs. We have the issues of marijuana. We have who went to Mairungi. Right now, they're already going for the samba. Really, that could be also the reality. And I must tell you that right now, our brothers could be also heading to where the plantation centers are. Maybe also to cut their share. That's usually say it out. But really, the question that we should be asking ourselves, also telling them, is maybe what should they do? Because we also say these are intoxicants, and remember, Allah's laws also do not permit that is intoxicants being used. And for them, they say this is not really something that was banned. And usually, I think that negative perception also really of it being said that it's makruh, how they usually say it.
Yes, makruh really, and mubah.
What can you say about it? Maybe for them also really about these issues of the drug abuse, not only alcohol, but the rest of the intoxicants.
The intoxicant, obviously, as we know, when you consume, like for instance, the marungi, when you consume, obviously, your mind goes beyond your normal imaginations. So when your mind leaves you and takes you to another level of thinking, obviously you're not yourself. So it means we can either way say that you're not, let me say, there are certain things that I can tell you, pick for me that thing. For you, your mind is very far, and you've been intoxicated with the substance you're consuming. So it's, your mind will not function normally. So all these will lead to other sicknesses, one of which madness is one. If you can look at the rate of madness in West Nile, let me say, we have at least 80% of mad people in West Nile. Why would it be that way?
And these are young people.
These are young people, young and aged. No, they are not all that aged, but vibrant youth that would be very important for the society.
Okay.
So
talking about the issue of drug abuse, we are just, that is into the hour of 8 a.m. and really I think we need to first have this commercial break, and we bounce back shortly with how Muslims need to celebrate this day. We do not want to see people going for samba. We do not want to see in the clubs really drinking. That is the question really I must also really extend to our brothers and sisters out there. On this day really, we need not to do these things because first of all, it paints a negative image of the religion at large. And really that is what brings us to the end of these discussions for now. And we bounce back shortly for also more other topics. But keep your comments coming through. That is the comment section. For those of you streaming us online on YouTube, your comments you can also really be reflected there. Yeah. And for those watching us also via Facebook, you too can also really drop your comments in there. But for now, it's a short commercial breather and we bounce back shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
welcome back from that short commercial break. Eid Mubarak, that is to the Muslim community out there who are celebrating this very, very much important day. And this comes, that is 30 days after the month of Ramadan, where we have been witnessing people being very holy. And my humble prayers would be that this need not to stop, that is with the Ramadan period. Really, I want to see what happened during Ramadan continue, because we were able to see people exchanging gifts. People were very, very selfless, and really this was quite amazing to see. And this inspired so many people also to love the religion. And this is the Muslims, really, we also need not to stop, that is with tendencies of also really maybe doing the wrongdoings. But really, if I can be able to go through some of your comments before I usher in the Sheikh to also tell us how they are looking forward to celebrating this day. I do have ORS Santos, says Santos from Paida. I would like to wish all Muslim community to enjoy the day in peace. And I would like to wish all my Muslim friends happy Eid Mubarak. May the Almighty Allah bless you all this day. And really that is quite important. We thank you, ORS Santos, for that wonderful message. And really I believe we need to that is coexist, and irrespective of the religious differences, we are going to be celebrating together. And I do understand that today Muslims are going to be mixing freely with the Christians, because we are living in a society of mixed religions. Yes. And I don't know what provisions you have for the Muslims and the community at large to celebrate this day. But before you get to give us that, definitely maybe first tell us how you have also really prepared to also ensure that the Muslims don't go astray on this day. And what are you exactly doing? Because I do understand Uganda Muslim Spring Council at least say that they had something prepared for the Muslims. And what exactly is that?
Basically, as Uganda Muslim Spring Council, it has always been there. It is, let me say, it's a culture of Uganda Muslim Spring Council, saying that people shouldn't go astray, our children shouldn't go astray on this very special day of Eid. So with that, the Eid Cup tournament has been there from day one before Ramadan. So during Ramadan, and today is the finals. Before we go to the finals, we shall have a curtain raising game between the Sheikhs of Uganda Muslim Spring Council and the Legend FC. So they will be tussling it out at Barifa Stadium.
Yes, for somebody who does not know how these games look like, I wish to see Sheikh Atib with his hands on the pitch today, because over the years I took long to actually watch that, and the last time I did watch the Sheikhs play was at our primary school playgrounds, and this is after maybe 8 or 10 years now. I wish to see the same again today. Are we going to see the Sheikhs also really with the councils on the pitch?
Today is going to be a different way of trying to at least tussling it out, not in the councils, but we'll have a full jerseys, uniforms to at least display and showcase their talent. As we know that as West Nilers, we love football, we love sports, we're sports lovers. So one unifying factor that we're going to use on this special day of Eid Mubarak, Eid al-Fitr, that we'll welcome all the Ummah of West Nile and Arua City at large to join us, have this sports in Barifa.
Free of charge.
Free of charge. It is free of charge. You're not paying for anything, but if you feel like you want to support the organizers, you can support. It is at free, no cost. So it is something that we have brought to the community. We're giving back to the community. For one way or the other that we're trying to look at, we should bring all people together, is to have what? Is to bring them, have this game through these games. So we welcome everyone, regardless of tribe, race, religion, because basically even some of the players who are going to tussling out today between Moobs FC and Uzwa FC, not only are they Muslims but also Christians. So we are trying to get together as usual, as Muslims, and our brothers are in the other faith, that is the Christians. So with that, I urge all Muslims and non-Muslim brothers, we are together. Let's enjoy this day. When Christmas comes, it's usually the same. We are being invited, you invite friends, you feast together. That is the spirit, and we should go ahead with the spirit. And for my Muslim brothers, let's enjoy it responsibly by having our children go watch these special games today. That is at Barifa. So by 2, these games have already started. As the other first lot of Pilau settles, you can have another lot of pilau, inshallah. Yes.
Okay, that is maybe the message. That is for how Uganda Muslim Spring Council, the body that brings together different Muslims across the country, is trying to limit tendencies of our children moving freely, like how we always say stray animals moving on the streets.
Yes.
That is something I don't want to see, because surely you will be able to see how some children will be moving on the streets, on the Raksas, on the streets, really moving by themselves. And these are young children.
Yes.
Last time on Christmas, I was able to also see really that, but I must say it was quite saddening. And the other EDs have also been seeing it, where our children move to these big hotels, that is also to go have fun. But I must say this is not the best place for them to do so, because where they are going is really a place that is going to have a mixture of people of different ages and of different characters, and what they may see there and copy at the end of the day couldn't be what may be. We want to see them happen.
Yes.
That is definitely why we are saying this game is actually very, very much important for them to also really go watch. And it is free of charge at Barifa Stadium, where you need to carry all your family members, even carry the wife, and do not leave them home.
Yes.
Today is a day for having fun, and most of the families have also not been having time. I don't know if you will be coming with your madam, and I also want to see Kimnas with the madam. I want to see City Lawyer with the madam. I want to see all the shocks with their madams, and that would also really be quite amazing to see, because today you realize that so many people are going to be in for this game. And the politicians all, I want to see all of you with your wives and the children at large, because we do not want to see, oh, here is a child of so-and-so was involved in a problem at this place.
Yes.
It would be very, very bad. But really, we pray, we must come with our children for this day. I don't know what you have as a final say, as we are just remaining with few minutes, as we also really need to go for prayers.
It is a day of joy, day of excitement, enjoyment, and it's a peaceful day. Let's have this in a peaceful way, that we reach out to each and every relative, family member that we're supposed to have this feast together. And basically for all the people of West Nile and Arua, and specifically Arua Central Division, I thank Allah that we have reached this day. And it is out of His blessing that we have managed to reach some of our family members, our brothers and sisters. They're in the hospitals. There are those who had lost them. So we pray on this very day. We also do visits to the graveyards. Obviously, we need to pray and do some du'as for them, that the Almighty Allah can at least have His mercy rain upon them. Yeah. So on this day, we shouldn't forget that as well. My last message is under the leadership of Uganda Muslim Spring Council, that is under the leadership of Sheikh Abu Jafar Shaban, the district card. He's a vibrant leader, and who has that unifying factor that all the Muslims have to come together. So he's behind all this tournament, that is the ED Cup. So besides that, the sponsors, we happen to have the likes of Atimali Jackson, who chipped in and helped us in these games. Honorable Osoro Morin also came in. Even the chairman of Chamber of Commerce also chipped in, and for all these people and RDCs and brigade commanders, rest assured, for these games are all going to be there. So I urge, security-wise, it's fine with everything, that when you come, you go back home safe. You came home, you came back
the way that you came.
The way you came, obviously. So it's something that we have thought it wisely that should be there. So it is us that will take responsibility over this. So without that, I would say assalam to few people. That is my lovely Madam Mama Hanan.
Surely, you cannot leave her. Madam, we also thank you so much for allowing the man also come and talk to the people. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi on his behalf, and may Allah have peace on you. Yeah, and all the Muslims out there in Arua, my parents and relatives as well. My mother-in-law, who is sick, she's trying to fight it so hard, tussle it out with Shifa and Afia. So we pray that this Eid brings a moment that to remember
that we pray to Allah that the next Eid will find us there, that the next Ramadan should find us there through health. If our rizq is very far, let him bring it closer to us. If it is so little, let him increase it. Amin. Allahumma hadi du'aka al-ijaba, Allahumma innaka afun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna, Allahumma innaka afun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna, nas'aluka al-jannata wa na'udhu bika minan nar. Allahumma hadi du'aka al-ijaba, Allahumma atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Ya ilahi, ya ilahi, Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiban wa amalan mutaqabbala ya rabbal alamin. La akhir al-ayah. Would say amin, 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 thumma amin. We'll end it with takbirah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. Takbir, Allahu Akbar.
And that brings us to the end of the program. I will wish you, each and everybody who watched us right from the time we began until this hour of the morning, Eid Mubarak, and let's celebrate responsibly. For now, we step out as we also head for other duties.
Inshallah.